Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is another episode of Behind the Enthusiast. Now, today, I'm going to be doing a quick fix on the race bike, my 2004 Honda CRF450R flat tracker. And for those of you who already saw the video, I did happen to crash during practice. I low-sided, the fender got ripped completely off, just so you guys actually know. Yeah. It got torn off pretty bad. So that is what I'm going to be replacing today. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the rear fender on that bike. So let's get into it. So here we go. Rear fender is completely torn off. There's literally just these edges here. There's nothing else left of the rear fender. So what we're going to use is a ratchet. We've got 10 mil and an 8. That is going to take care of the top and the bottom down here. And that will allow us to remove the seat, and then we'll get into the next section. So that is the first one done. Now, obviously you guys can see a little bit of brown there. That's either dirt or rust. Either way, you guys should consider looping up any of the bolts that you do take out, or at least wire brush them just to keep them clean. But still definitely something to keep in mind as a good habit, and that is inspecting all your hardware on your bike. Alright, so both sides are done. Now the seat will just come up. There's little brackets in here. Hopefully I can show you guys the right way here. See? So the number plate will just come right off. So you guys see there, so you got this point here where the bar from the seat goes in. And then this section right in here. Just kind of wiggle it off. This is another piece at the bottom here as well. Be very careful. So that comes right off. And you're left with this exposed side. Now again, obviously you can leave the other side on for the time being. You don't have to take it completely off, but this allows you to actually slide the seat back. So when you slide that back, this is going to come completely off. So there's the rest of the fender. And that is the nut that the bottom portion of the seat actually slides into. So you guys are going to have to make sure that that slides in underneath in this direction when you're putting it back on. Obviously you guys can access the air box there as well, the air filter if you need to change that, which I'm going to have to do in another video. And this, as you can see, this is what's left of the fender. It snapped pretty much just clean off right at the end. I'm lucky it didn't break any of the this number plates or anything as well. So next step, I'm going to have to take these bolts out. So I'm going to switch over to that. Alright, so we're switching back over to the 8 mil. Snaps loose. Now, some of these components might be a little bit stiff, so again, just be careful. You know, use a wire brush if you have it, and use a little bit of oil, not too much, but just a little bit to keep things lubricated so they don't get too stuck together. if you ever have to take off the fender again. Always nice to know that things aren't going to be seized, because then you'll have to drill them out. Make sure you guys are careful. There is a washer there, and on the inside there is a bit of a backing plate. You guys are going to have to pry this off with a flathead screwdriver. Basically, you're going to take this off and put it onto your new fender, because the new one doesn't come with the hose. And then, obviously, you guys have to do the exact same thing on the other side here. So once you get both of those done, then you move down. Now on the inside, you guys are going to have one here and one over here as well. So you have to take off both of those. So the one there and one right over there. Take those two off, they're the exact same size, and once you get those off, this whole tail section will come off. Now, once you guys have all of those removed, the two that are up there, right up there, and then the two down here. So you got those two holes there. This whole piece comes right out. Just like that. Ta-da! Fell right out. Now, remember, you guys are going to have to take out those locking plates. So get out a flathead, pry those off, and put them onto the new one. So, easy peasy, just like that. You guys will see they do have a bit of a flare on them. Flange, whatever you want to call it. So that will go into the new one. And then that's some of the other hardware that I pulled off already. Alright, so there is the broken one. 2 pieces. Yes, I will try to get another mustache sticker to put back on. And shout out to UFO, because why not? That's who I'm using today as the replacement. Brand new, ready to go. Alright, so, like I said, with the new one, you gotta put those locking plates in there. So as you can see, I put both of them in. So that's ready to go. Now the next step is to line this new one up to where the original one was. And you guys are going to want to start with one of the bottom ones. So those ones, they're actually on the lower section here of the bike. So these are the big fat washers. So you want to start, just put one in just to hold it in place. Then go up to the top, put the other one in. This is a small one. So put them in. Now, once you get those in, put them on loose to start. Make sure you get all 4 lined up, ready to go. Once you're happy with where the fender is lined up, then go ahead and tighten all 4 of them. Don't tighten just one, because then it'll end up being a little bit crooked. So do them one bottom, one top. Once it's lined up, once you guys are happy with it, then go ahead and tighten everything at the same amount. So alternate between them. Another good habit to maintain. And then once this piece is on, obviously you can go ahead and put the number plates back on. Left side, right side, and you've got right side, left side. So here is a tip for when you guys are putting the number plates back on. See this little channel here? That is that piece right in there. You want to make sure that goes this side of the fender. You don't want it actually cutting into there, so you got to make sure that's tight. And then, as long as that is tight in through there, that's the opening right here, As long as that goes right in line with right here, the rest of those pieces, like that one, will all slot in right in behind the airbox cover here, and then you can go ahead and put the bolts back in, top and bottom there, and then you can do the exact same thing to the other side. And here is another shot of that, so you guys can see there is a little bit of a bracket there that is part of the airbox. Make sure that you are on the left side. Obviously, kind of looking at it from a different angle here, but see that? That's part of the number plate. That has to be on the other side of this piece of plastic right here, because this is the airbox. So see how it's on that side? It's on the left-hand side. Gotta make sure it's lined up that way or it won't go on. The next step, obviously, you're gonna be bolting on the number plates. You do the bottom one first because you have to remember that the upper one here, that is where the seat bracket has to go in between, so you save that to last. Alright guys, now last but not least, gotta make sure you line up that washer with the very bottom of the seat. And once that is lined up, you see how that slides in right in that gap. Slides in there. Slid in the gap right there. This lines up. As long as that lines up, put the last two bolts in, left and right, and you are done. Well guys, what did you think? Was it easy to follow along? If you guys have any questions, leave those down below. And I did mention that it is a good idea to wire brush the bolts that you take out. I did actually do that. I also lubricated them with a little bit of oil. So one of them was a little bit stubborn going back in, so I didn't want to risk, damaging the threads. Especially if you need to do this repair down the road, which I'm hoping I don't have to. This is my second time doing it. So the rear end is all ready to go. I have a few other minor details to go over before the race coming up this weekend. But all in all, the bike is ready to go. So if you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. Again, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. For me, this is pretty simple because I've done it a couple of times now, and there's not a whole lot of bolts or anything to it, but relatively simple. However, if you guys are new to working on your own bikes, this may be a little bit complicated for you. So again, if you have any questions, leave those down below and I will do my best to answer them. So that's it for me and this one, guys. As usual, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.